Welcome back everyone to Angela's Craft Room. As promised, I've come back today to show you and explain to you what the difference is between a framelit and a thinlit. Now, a thinlit, as you can see in this Blooming Hearts thinlit, is very intricate. And so all thinlits have some intricacy in their cutting, so it's quite intricate. Okay, so that's the heart cut out. This is the detailed floral thinlits, one of them, and you can see, let's come in, you can see how intricate all those pieces are that we're going to have to cut out. So that is a thinlit. So here is one of my banner framelits. Oh, it's a big one, so I'm going to have to go out a bit for you. There we go. So that is a framelit. So it doesn't have anything in here, any intricacies to be cut out that are really intricate cutting. So that is called a framelit. So it's really like a frame, but there's nothing in the center. But like with this particular set is the banners framelits, and you get a whole lot of different size banners. And see, what you could do is you could cut different sizes and you could layer them with dimensionals or even just with your snail, adhering them together, and that is how you would accomplish a layered look on your card. So I hope that explains a little bit, like the ladies were getting confused what a thinlit is and what a framelit is. And in a previous video I have showed you what we call in the craft language a sandwich, what the recipe of the sandwich is of cutting a framelit and cutting a thinlit, because it is completely different, but I'm not going to go into that because I did the previous tutorial for you explaining that. So that is showing you a framelit and a thinlit. Now what I'm going to do, I've introduced you to the new tool, and this is one that you will definitely need to have, which is the foam pad and the die brush. Now you're going to need this when you're cutting out your thinlits. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut out a thinlit, and the other thing that you may need, sometimes we need it and sometimes we don't, is the paper piercing tool. It does come in very handy. So you'll see why very shortly. So we'll put our sandwich together. So remember, the sandwich for the thinlits, that's the intricate one, is the Big Shot platform. Then we have the thin die adapter, we have our precision plate, then our piece of cardstock, then we've placed the heart thinlit on top of there, and then we're going to place one clear plate on top of that, and then we're just going to feed that through the Big Shot. So I'll do. Then we'll just bring that back after feeding that through. Lift off the clear plate. Just carefully pick that up. Pop those plates over there. Now we're going to bring in our foam pad and our brush, pop that on there, and we're just going to go over the holes. Now, I can most probably see it better than you, that as I'm doing this, it's lifting the heart shape off of so we'll have a lovely heart cut out. So we're just going to lift that off. Now you can see it's only left like a couple. So this is where we just have our piercing tool, turn it over, we can see through the hole the little blue bits. There was only 2 left on there, and it takes everything off of there. Then you are left with, we do have a couple of little pieces which if I shake it, even they're just sitting there, they most probably would come out. Now you can do 2 things. You can turn it over and very lightly, just don't do it too hard because it is a very intricate part, just to see if those last couple of pieces will come out. Now I notice there's just 1 or 2, just with my paper piercing tool. So there's no hard work of trying to dig out cutouts as we had to in the previous times before we had the precision cut plate and the foam pad and die brush. So I'll just get rid of that. So you can see, then you are left with this beautiful, intricately cut die cut from the blooming hearts. So that's how you cut out your thinlits, using the sandwich that I explained to you and also the die brush and foam pad. But you will need, for these delicate intricate thinlits, you will need to purchase the precision plate as an additional thing. And remember, in the last tutorial I told you, if instead, because with your purchase of your Big Shot, you got the normal Big Shot platform and you got the thin die adapter. Remember, if you're going to use your magnetic plate instead, so remember I showed you pop that on my magnetic plate, and the good thing about the magnetic plate is my heart's not going to move at all. That was why we use the magnetic plate. But the sandwich difference is, if you're using the magnetic plate, you do not use the thin die adapter plate or the normal Big Shot plate. You're using the magnetic platform instead. So if you put them side by side, you can see they're the same height. So then if you were using the magnetic plate, you would have just put your precision plate on top. Then you would have put a piece of cardstock and your thinlit on top of that, one of your clear pads plates on top of that, and fed it through the Big Shot. So that's just the difference if you're using the magnetic platform or if you're using your base plate that you received from when you got your Big Shot with the thin die adapter. And then that way you can cut out these lovely intricate shapes. So I hope that clears up a few points that the ladies were asking me about. And just thank you very much for supporting me in my YouTube tutorials on my YouTube channel. And I really appreciate you spending a few moments of your day with me. Until next time, thank you for joining me.